ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः. Today we continue our discussion of Agni Suktas from sage Vishwamitra Gathina. Om Suktam 24 Chandas Anushtup Gayatri Agni Sahaswapratana 24.1. O Agni, please repel hostile forces and drive away haughty wicked persons. O difficult to be overcome Agni, surprising the foes, you give food to performers of non-violent sacrifice. Hostile forces, foes, wickedness, etc. are to be considered as existing in one's own mind. These obstruct one's smooth passage to truth. In a knowledge sacrifice, food may mean knowledge. Agna Ila Samithyase 24.2. O spiritual Agni, blessed with the knowledge of truth and immortal, you are glowing well. With noble words and speech, be delighted to come to this non-violent sacrifice. This clearly shows that here non-violent sacrifice means a knowledge sacrifice, so that Agni stands for the soul of energy. 3.24.3. Agni Dyumnena Jagrive, O resplendent ruler Agni, who is ever vigilant, is invoked by all, and is son of might. Please come and sit down in this honored seat prepared for you by me. The seat prepared for the soul of Agni is in the heart space of human beings. Realize the self seated in the heart space. This is the aim of all intelligent men. May Agni honor the servants of an enlightened soul. This is the gist of the Rak. 3.24.4. Agni Vishve Viragni. O soul of Agni, you please honor all enlightened beings or souls who shine like fire and who respect good men in sacrifices by your presence and honor their refined speech. O Agni, please reveal the knowledge of the self to the sacrificers and also approve of the Vedic hymns that come out of them in praise of Agni. Last ruk in this sutta, 24.5. Agni dada ashusherayim. O Agni, please give to the oblations offering sacrificers ample wealth and progeny. Please make us prosperous with noble and righteous progeny. This does not require any further explanation. We go to the next Suktam 25. Rishi is the same, Sri Vishwamitra. Devata Agni Agnindrau Chandas Virat Agni Diva Sunurasi 25.1. O soul of Agni, you are knower of all born beings, are observant and mindful. You are son of the space and the earth and are attentive. You please unite the enlightened beings or souls successfully. Most of the Rak is devoted to virtues attributed to Agni, the soul of energy. May that Agni bring all enlightened souls to this knowledge sacrifice. Maybe this hymn. This is the gist of the Rak. (25.2) Agnisanodi Viryani. Spiritual Agni gives strength to a wise man, and knowledge to a seeker of truth for attaining immortality. O possessor of large stock of food materials, please bring enlightened beings or souls here to us. Agni gives physical energy to persons engaged in various types of physical activities. A wise man, a self-seeker, seeker of physical wealth, etc. May Agni bring enlightened souls to hear this hymn. This is being repeated from the previous Ruk. 25.3. Agnir Dyava Prithivi Vishwajanye. Agni illuminates the space and earth, who are endowed with shining virtues and sense of immortality, and who generates all objects. This Agni stays undisturbed in his abode, free from ignorance, bestowing much happiness to many with food and salutations. Agni appears in different forms in the space, in the atmosphere, and on the earth. With these diverse, ever-changing forms, Agni is eternal, since energy can neither be created nor destroyed. It can only be converted from one form to another, as per the law of conservation of energy. Agni, staying within the bodies of living creatures, bestows happiness to them. 25.4. Agna Indrascha Ashusho Agna Indrascha Ashusho. 3.25.4. O Agni, you and Indra, shining brightly and not getting tired, please come here to this sacrifice in the house of a wealthy giver of oblations for enjoying the spiritual Soma essence. Agni and Indra could also mean Vaishwanara Agni and Jivatma. They are being requested to come to this knowledge sacrifice of the seer of the Supta, to listen to this hymn and be delighted by it. Next, and the last ruk in this Sukta, 25.5. Agni Abham Samidhyase. O Atmiya Agni, son of might, you are a knower of all born beings and eternal. You shine brightly in the house of the vital pranas, or water particles in the atmosphere. Agni delights his abode by his protective powers. As explained before, abodes of Agni are the space and the atmosphere and the earth, and inside the bodies of living creatures. As the sun, Agni illumines the space. As lightning, Agni illumines atmosphere. On the earth, Agni shines as fire. In the bodies of living creatures, Jఠragni supplies energy for their activities which bring them happiness. All-pervading nature of Agni is brought out beautifully in this Ruk. Suktam 26 is the next one. Vishwamitra Gathina Rishi, Brahma Atma Devata Vaishwanara Agni Maruta. Agni Paramatma Vishwamitropathyaya Chandas Jagadi Tushtu. Vaishwanaram Manasa Agnim Nitaya. 3.26.1. O sacrificers, creatures of truth, possessing gift-worthy things and utilizing desirable wealth, we shall praise with auspicious hymns Agni, perceiving him by the minds to be the otherer of truth, knower of his own self, giver of food articles, speedy, delightful, and belonging to all men. Some attributes of Agni are listed here. The seer of the Sukta is urging his co-sacrificers to concentrate their minds on such an Agni whom he is going to glorify in this hymn. This is just by way of introduction to the Sukta. 26.2 Sukta. Tam Subhramagnim Avase. O sacrificers, for the attainment of shining virtues, we praise the spiritual Agni who is splendid, is leader of all men, is pervader of the atmosphere, is praiseworthy, is a great protector of the universe, is a genius, is a knower of Vedas, and is an honored guest and is quick moving. Some more virtues attributed to Aishwarya Agni is given in this book. Again the seer is urging his co-sacrificers to praise Agni along with him. All these virtues have been gone through in detail before. 26.3 Ashona Krandan Janibhi Ashona Krandan Janibhi. 26.3 That leader of all men, Vaishwanara Agni, is kindled by preachers of truth with their fingers daily making emotional outbursts like the horse with mares. That Agni, attending on the eternal self, may bestow on us wealth like gold, strength and good horses. One another possible interpretation could be the following. Intelligent knowledge sacrificers invoke the soul of Agni with auspicious signs and realize the self within one's own heart space. The Agni coexisting with the self in the heart of sacrificers needs food or fuel, which they supply with their 10 fingers. Emotional outbursts may be caused by the sacrificers through or by the chanting of Vedic hymns. This soul of energy enables a person to obtain desired wealth, strength, etc. Rayantu Vajas Tavishibhir Agnaya. 26.4 Combining with vigorous Maru's air within the water particles, the swift Agni moves about in the atmosphere. He causes sprinkling of water on the earth. Lovers of all born beings and irresistible Marut produce much water sprinkling, shaking the mountain like clouds. By implication, the Ruk describes how rain is caused by heat energy of the sun. The heat causes winds and moves the water-bearing clouds to bring rain. 3.26.5 Agnishriyo Maruto Vishwakrishtaya. O sacrificers, we shall implore the fierce radiance and protection of Maruts, who are glorious like Agni and friendly to all men. These sons of Rudra are purifiers of rainwater and blessed with mighty power, like the roar of a lion, become liberal donors to all. Marut's winds have tremendous power like fire. They help Agni the fire to burn more brightly. In the atmosphere, wind aids the evaporation process of water. Wind carries the sound of thunder to earth. It produces a howling sound resembling the roar of a lion. Maruts reside in the bodies of living creatures as pranas, and along with Agni energy, they sustain life in living creatures' bodies. 3.26.6 Vratam Vratam Ganam Ganam. Who possesses sprinkling power and never failing wealth, who are meditative by nature, who regularly go to sacrifices in the imparting of knowledge, we implore the strength of those Marus who solicit splendor of fire in all our groups and assemblies. Siyaroda Sukta is imploring Marus to give him and his friends the power of winds. Wind is moving air. This movement is caused by differential heating of the surface of the earth, or basically a phenomena attributable to Agni or solar energy. This is implied in the last part of the 26.7 next trick. Agni Rasmi Janmana Jataveda. I, the soul of Agni, by the very birth, is the knower of all born beings. My sight is pleasing as the fertilizing rain. My mouth, organ of eating or speech, is immortal. I am the upholder of the universe in three forms. Like the sun, my light is perpetual. I am the giver of everything. Obviously, sage Vishwamitra is identifying himself with the soul of energy here and says, I am that. This is quite understandable, since what imparts life or consciousness to him and Agni should be essentially the same. This he realizes. That is Atma, the self. Water is pleasing to all on earth. Rainwater is produced by air and energy in combination, as explained before, which he is recording here. So Agni is pleasing to all on earth. The other reason is Agni supplies the energy needed to keep the living creatures alive and active. Vedic speech is inspired by the soul of Agni, Atma, and hence it is immortal. The essence of the Vedic speech is Ekam Sat. It is immortal. It upholds all manifestations, the causal body, Ishvara, the subtle body, Hiranyagarbha, and the gross body, Virat Purusha. It is the supreme light, light of all lights, while the sun radiates physical or gross light only. All manifestations are superimpositions of the self, which includes the particular soul of Agni also. 26.8 Tribhi Pavitrai the soul of Agni purifies the fire by means of three purifying agents and comes to know or feel that spiritual light through the heart. By his own intellect, he acquires that best wealth and visualizes the space and the earth. Soul of Agni removes the three layers of ignorance, namely the gross body, subtle body, and causal body. He sees through them and realizes the presence of that supreme light. On realization of truth, Ekam Sat, naturally the soul of Agni gets identified with the Supreme Self and sees the unreality of the material universe. Sage Vishwamitra is identifying himself with that soul of Agni, which implies that he is revealing the truth. Last verse in this sutta, 3.26.9. It's a very sublime and important book. Shatandharamut samukshriyamanam manam. Oh, the space and earth, please protect him who is the possessor of hundreds of inexhaustible streams of speech or spiritual light rays, who is like a well of knowledge, is a knower of Shastras, who is like a father, is a speaker of appropriate speech, is admirer of well-trained speech, he is delighting in the company of his parents, and he is the speaker of truth. This is a prayer addressed to the space and earth to protect the soul of Agni, which is indirectly himself, as he has identified himself with it. The sage realizes that Agni, or energy that makes his heart beat, is only grass. This can play its part only with Atma, the self, when Atma is present. That self imparts existence to all gross, subtle, and causal bodies of the universe. This is the essence of the work. Each spiritual light ray becomes a carrier of quanta of spiritual charge, flowing along it interminably, setting up infinite spiritual energy streams with respect to gross, space, and time. Now we go to next suktam, which is 27. Vishwamitra Rishi, Devata, Agni, Chandas Gayatri. Most structures in this sukta deal with Agni, energy or fire. They are easy to understand in the light of explanations given till now. 27.1. Pravo Vaja Abhidyavo, O sacrificers, your knowledge and other things shining in all directions contain many worthwhile giving gifts to someone who is shining with ghee. A person desiring to attain true happiness should approach enlightened beings or enlightened souls. A person who desires to achieve real happiness should approach enlightened persons by performing a knowledge sacrifice dedicated to Agni. Enlightened persons are always attracted by such sacrifices, which they take part willingly with proper oblations. 27.2. Ile Agnim Nivastitam, I praise with my hymn Agni, who is a great scholar, is a accomplisher of sacrifice, is a quick mover, and is rich in gifts. This obviously refers to a knowledge sacrifice in honor of Agni. 3.27.3. Agne Chakemate Vayam Yamam. O soul of Agni, you possess good food and knowledge. We shall strive to stick to your commands. You are shining. May we overcome all animosities. Under guidance of Agni in the soul of energy, the seer of the sukta is expecting to gain much benefit by an exposition on Agni and his virtues. We go to the next rag, 27.4. Samidhyamano adhare. We desire that Agni, who burns brightly in a non-violent sacrifice, who has flamed like hairs, who is a purifier and is praiseworthy. Considering this rag to be a description of a grass sacrifice, it needs no further explanation. Flame like hairs are applicable to a grass fire. 3.27.5. Prithupaya Amartyo. Agni is blessed with great strength, is immortal, is the purifier of water, is glorified nicely, and is conveyor of sacrificial oblations. Agni, grass energy, can neither be created nor destroyed, and hence it is to be considered as immortal. He purifies water by the evaporation and condensation. Sacrificers' oblations are enabled by energy given by Agni, and all of them finally reach the self. In other words, Agni carries them to the self. 27.6. Tam sabadho edasruja. Sacrificers with lifted up ladles while performing sacrifices. When troubled by evil forces, call for protection that Agni with intelligence and actions. No explanation necessary further. 27.7 Hota Devo Amartya. Agni is immortal and enlightened. He comes in front of us with wisdom or by illusion. He is imparting knowledge. This Rik is referring to a knowledge sacrifice, and in that sense it is easy enough to understand. Agni manifests because of ignorance of the self. 27.8 Vaji Vajeshu Dhiyate. As priests place impetuous Agni fire in sacrifices, in the same way a wise person leads that accomplisher of sacrifice in non-violent knowledge sacrifices. A priest may perform a gross form of sacrifice, while an intelligent person, like the seer of the Sukta, performs a knowledge sacrifice with auspicious hymns. Dhiya Chakre Varenyu. Agni establishes himself with intelligence. Praiseworthy persons uphold the origin of matter and also Agni, who is like Father or the protector of strength of the vast earth. Intelligent men know the origin of Agni energy to be Atma, the Self. That is also the origin of matter. Agni provides energy to all objects in the universe for all their activities. 27.10 Nitva Dathe Varenyam. O soul of Agni, you are produced from might. Earth, daughter of strength, upholds you. Who is blessed with good knowledge, is desire of good virtues, and is praiseworthy. Fire is produced by converting mechanical energy in the good old days. Earth, a manifestation imposed on the self, upholds energy in different forms. 27.11 Agnim Yanduram Asturam. Wise men, desiring to know the truth, kindle spiritual Agni, the controller of all, an impeller of pranas or water, with knowledge for harnessing Vrita. Wise men meditate on the soul of Agni and realize him to be the same as that of all other manifestations of matter and material objects. 27.12 Ujjunabadam Adhare. In this non-violent sacrifice I glorify soul of Agni, whose strength never decays, who is shining brightly near the space and is blessed with wisdom and actions of the seers. The seer is glorifying Agni in this non-violent sacrifice, or he is describing Agni and his virtues here. He is present in the space, he is in the atmosphere, and also on the earth in different forms. 3.27.13 Ilenyu Namasyastirastamamsi. Namasyastirastamamsi. We shall glorify that Atmi Agni, who is praiseworthy, is worthy to be honored by salutations, is handsome, and is showerer of knowledge. 3.27.14 Varsho Agni Samithyate. Showerer of knowledge Agni, who is conveyor of shining virtues, having speed and strength like a horse, shines brightly. The sacrificers bearing oblations praise him. No explanations. 27.5 Virushanam Tva Vayam. O mighty illuminator of knowledge, Givers of oblation, we honor you, who is mighty and is a great illuminator of the world. Agni, the sun, or as lightning in the atmosphere, or as fire on the earth, illumines grass objects. The soul of Agni illumines the self only, because he is one with the self. We take up one more Suktam today, Suktam 28 from sage Vishwamitra on Agni in Gayatri, Ushnik, Trishtup and Jagati. This Sukta talks about a type of oblation, namely Purodasha. Purodasha. It is a cooked grain type of food and offered 3 times a day, morning, noon time and night, as mentioned in the Sukta 3.28.1. Agni Jushasvano Havi. O soul of Agni, you are knower of all born beings and make people to dwell in knowledge. Please accept our Purodasha oblations at the morning session of the sacrifice. Agni is being requested to accept the Purodasha offered in the morning session of the sacrifice in this Rak. However, this may imply, Purodasha may imply this hymn. Puroda Agni Vajarastu Bhyam 28.2. O most energetic young spiritual Agni, properly cooked Purodasha is being prepared for you. Please accept it. 28.3. Agni Vihi Purodasham. O Agni, please receive this well-cooked food prepared in daytime. In this sacrifice, son of might Agni, you are dear to us. No further explanation. 28.4. Madhyandine savane yadaveda. O wise knower of all born beings, Agni, please accept these Purodasha oblations at the noon session of the sacrifice here. In the dealings of knowledge or battle, intelligent men do not transgress the destiny ordained by you, who is great and active. Battle here may refer to problems of day-to-day life that a seeker of truth may have to face. He never transgresses Krita, said by the soul of Agni. Agni is being requested to partake the oblations offered at noontime session of the sacrifice. 28.5. Agni Trutiye Savanehi Ganisha. O son of my Agni, you desire the Purodasha oblations in the 3rd session of the sacrifice. The oblations are full of gems of wisdom and captivating. Please give them to enlightened beings or souls who are eternal with admirable knowledge. The 3rd session of the sacrifice is after sunset, but from the wordings of the Rik, it may be presumed that the sage implies a knowledge sacrifice. Otherwise, gems of wisdom will have no meaning. Agni Pradhana Ahutim 3.28.6. This is the last trick of the Sutta. O knower of all born beings, spiritual Agni, gladdening yourself, please accept the Purodasha oblations, nicely prepared in daytime or offered at night. Interestingly, it is to be noted that Agni the fire is also assumed to take food 3 times a day, which might have been the practice of human beings in those days also. In other words, Jataragni and sacrificial fire are given oblations 3 times daily. This only shows that human beings tend to attribute their own habits, likes and dislikes, etc., on their gods also. With this, we close our today's session. Viramastavat.